Good morning. Today is going to be a beautiful day. All right, it is 9 a.m. Bashan, you're back from Puerto Rico. How was it?
Amazing.
I'm adding that to my list of places to go. I've never been,
You need to show.
so it's beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna go. All right, everyone. Today is Tuesday. It's our trial docket today and also our morning docket. So when I call your name, let me know that you are here. If you don't answer, then I'm going to assume you're not here, and then a warrant may be issued for your arrest. And the person on the front row in the brown shirt, I see his bus ticket, which is bringing back memories of me riding the VIA bus. All right, Aiden Silva. Thank you. In custody, we have Jose Garcia, Renee Torres. Susan Robledo is in custody. Allison Elliott, custody. Robert Urdalis. In custody, we have Graciana Villanueva, Deputy Laura. All those people who are late, put them over in the box. Juan Garcia Sanchez. Roger Saucedo. Thank you. Mary Diaz. Wardell Lemon. Thank you. Mario Guerra.
Here, Your Honor.
Richard Thomas. Daniel Van Duzer. Rolanda Gutierrez Chavez. Thank you. John Casanova Paez. In custody, we have Santo Rodriguez. Jose Corona. And then there's a Jose Guerrero Carano. Renee Espinoza. Manoa Witten or Whiten. In custody, we have Raul Reyes, Leonardo Rosales. Thank you. Rachel Garcia.
Here.
Judah Castilla. Thank you. Mario Tovar Hernandez. Tony Wayne Banks. Mark Pena. John Denver. John Denver, Cassandra Weiss, Timothy Barker. In custody is Christian Segovia, Jesus Fraga, Mario Miranda. In custody is Carlo Madrigal, Juan Garza, Michael Duran. In custody is Juan Carraza, Christopher Davis, Angelina Hernandez, Xavier Doxey, Christian Gomez. Vanessa Baez is on bond. Vanessa Baez, thank you. Tucker Margowitz, thank you. Jackson Youngblood is in custody. Alfredo Puiga. Custody, Melvin Jones. Annabelle Bishop. Jalen Collins is in custody. On bond is Jose Ramirez. All right. Anyone who came in late or your name was not called. All right, attorneys, please. Somebody raise their hand. Okay. All right, attorney, these are the rules of the court. I keep the center of the courtroom as least congested as possible. The files over here are for a criminal trial division. The files over here are for family violence. Just grab your file, place it on the prosecutor's desk. They will call you in the order of appearance. Once you've completed conferring with your client, then ask the clerk to pull the file. Please do not approach the coordinator asking for a continuance or asking for a reset or asking any type of permission for anything involving the case, because I'm the only person who can give you permission. If you have a client who's in custody, that client needs to be asked to be brought out. Once you ask your client to be brought out, please do not leave, because there's a limited space and there's a limited number of people that the deputies can have in the courtroom. And if you leave and your client is in the box, then that's another attorney who can't have their client brought out. If your client speaks a different language, even if you speak their native language, you will need to have an interpreter called down. Once the interpreter is requested, please do not leave the courtroom, because there's a shortage of interpreters and they usually are able to make it down here in about 5 minutes. So everyone, today is Tuesday. It's not Monday. We start our jury trial today at 1:30. We're doing a hard break at 12. So do not rush the court at 11:50 thinking your case is going to be heard, because it's not, because we're doing a hard break at 12 p.m. All right, everyone, please confer and be kind and patient to each other. Thank you. Michael Villarreal, it is so great to see you. You're back. Yeah. Mom misses you.
Yes, I miss interacting.
Mm. All right, Ms. Ferguson, do I have the judgments from yesterday? Where are they? All right, can you ask the clerk? All right, can you call the, just 1 second. No, I'm calling upstairs. Hello. Good morning.
For probation, because that was late on the first row. I'm sorry? But if they take a couple miles, it's important.
No, that's the second lot ass.
Like God with that.
The second lot.
Like, is it rich? Is it? You know, this is-
See?
We're gonna be-
1176.
There's a lot.
Norma, is this client here today?
I don't know.
Is your client here today?
I called his name. I didn't see him and he didn't.
Okay.
he didn't answer.
One one seven six.
Yes.
They put this change.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I'm good too. Thank you very much.
Juan Garza?
These should be good.
Hang on. Before you try to steal him, they just have to die. Well, I offered I could do like a crossover. Okay. You know, here.
Do it.
Okay.
Requesting.
Version now. I actually had it before, I just never brought it out. So I said,
He's probably one of the TS. Whatever.
Oh, I'll pull that out. You can keep it in space. I'm sorry. Okay, great. Not much better. Not quite. Yes.
We did.
Good morning.
Yep.
All right, I go to
Okay. Yes. All right, thank you. All right, thank you.
So. Yeah.
No problem.
Oh, you don't trust it out today? Right.
The other one I ended up. It was Friday, last day. Okay.
I'm sweating, I was like, oh. At least in a sense.
Good, trying to get some murder on its way out.
Yeah, but. Yeah. I have no clue where it went. Well, we do this. With March. Well, I think it was like, well, they're- Good morning. Yes, yeah. Not even this. I don't think so. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I just.
Yes.
They're ready to.
Okay.
And then I can figure it out, and then I.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Court is calling 2022 CR 4056, State of Texas versus Jose Ramirez. Can I have parties approach and announce for the record? Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good to see you again.
You too. All right, if parties can announce for the state.
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
All right, if you guys could move a little bit over. Thank you. All right, and for the defense?
Attorney Michael Collins, Your Honor.
Jose Ramirez.
All right, you need to speak up because you're whispering.
Oh, Jose Ramirez.
All right, so the court ordered for him to do a UA. It took him a long time to do the UA, but it ended up being negative.
I'm sorry.
No problem. I know you were concerned that it was going to be positive, which is concerning to the court because that means that you used. So,
He was honest to the court then, Your Honor.
no, and I appreciate that he let the court know. So, Mr. Ramirez, what are you normally using?
I'm happy right now.
No, you didn't hear my question. What do you normally use?
normally.
Mhm.
I was mad.
Meth?
Yeah.
How often were you using meth?
Like every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
So why did you stop using meth?
I got a burnout for the heart failure.
I'm sorry, what?
Got a heart failure.
Okay.
Heart failure,
So are you seeing a doctor?
Yes.
he was actually in the hospital several times, John, while this case was going on. We had to reschedule a couple of times because he had many strokes along the way.
Okay.
And he has high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, and heart failure.
Drugs doesn't work well with that. Right, drugs doesn't work with that. You understand? All right, are you working or no?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm doing makers, like maintenance in our apartments.
Okay. All right, did anyone want to have any more questions for Mr. Ramirez? He was sworn in the last time we were here, and of course, you're still under oath.
Nothing from the state.
All right, so there's a restitution amount in here of $15,048. Is there any objection to the restitution amount?
It is what it is, Your Honor. I understand it's high, but it's the man didn't have insurance.
Okay. All right, and I'm assuming the $15,000, is that to Yosvani, Yosvany Cabrera? Is that who that is to?
Yeah, Your Honor, I'm sorry, I don't have the file in front of me, but if that's the named victim in the indictment, that would be.
That is the name of the victim.
Okay,
Yes, we'll be in agreement with that, Your Honor.
all right, thank you. And are you in agreement with that, Mr. Ramirez? I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I understand what.
Well, they are saying that you owe $15,048 in restitution to Cabrera. Are you in agreement with that?
Is my
And how are you planning on paying that?
payments.
All right, so how much are you able to pay a month?
I think like $100.
All right, so probation, I'm going to need him to sit down with you and come out with a budget for how much he's going to be able to pay a month, or either biweekly or whatever he can pay, because the court intention is not for you not to have a place to stay, but this person needs this $15,000 because that's what they're owed. You understand?
Yeah.
All right, if there's nothing else, as previously stated, the court is finding you guilty. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. Sentence you to 4 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 10 years. There's restitution of $15,048 to Yosvany Cabrera, Cabrera. There's to be no contact with Yosvany Cabrera in family. No contact with Marie Martinez, Marcelo, Marcelo Jimenez, Griselda, Griselda Palmer, Palmer, or McKinley, McKinley Avenue in San Antonio, Texas.
I think that's actually an adjoining property from where he lives.
All right, so
The man
according
that-
to the plea,
I'm sorry.
according to the plea bargaining agreement, you all agreed that he's not to have no contact with that physical address.
It's just next door.
All right,
You can't do anything about where he lives.
all
He
right,
knows not to go on that property.
all right, so it will be no problem. He's to have no contact with 320 McKinley Avenue. And Ms. Abrams, were you able to get to the other items that I put down so far? Were you able to hear that?
Yes,
Okay.
I just need the correct spelling for Roselda.
It's Griselda, Griselda Palmer.
Thank you, Your Honor.
There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution if you provide, and I'm sorry, State, if you may concur.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome. 200 hours community service restitution. Counsel, if there is a medical reason why he can't perform those hours, then he'll need to provide probation with a medical letter from the doctor saying that he can't perform certain hours. I'm going to want regular reporting by Zoom or in person. I'm going to want field visits one time per month. Probation, if you want to count that field visit as a reporting, you may do so. We're going to do the UA hotline with him for 3 months. And he needs to be tested weekly. If there are no issues, then probation, you can provide UAs what you think is appropriate. I'm going to want intensive outpatient treatment with probation. Proof of employment within 30 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. In just one moment. Just give me 1 second. All right, and we're going to do anger management. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramirez, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, next I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Here you are, counsel. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. In this courtroom, communication with your probation officer is key to being successful. If there is something you need to help you be successful on probation, let the probation officer know. If you feel like they are not addressing your issue, then you can always come to court. We're here Monday through Friday. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, counsel.
And excuse me.
Yes. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
It's always good to see you.
Good to see you, Your Honor.
Who's here in Costilla
That's mine, Your Honor.
or Castilla? How do you pronounce it?
Costilla.
Oh, I've just pronounced it 3 different ways. Costilla.
It
Okay.
means rib in Spanish.
Oh, wow. Are we doing barbecue ribs today?
I know, right?
Yeah.
So the state is gonna ask for continuance. They need a witness that they're looking for you.
Oh, if you can have your client come forward.
Okay.
All right, who's the prosecutor on Castilla? It's family violence. And
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Cisneros, you're on this side.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
okay.
Your Honor, I believe we are gonna have to file a continuance. We're making one more phone call to see if we can track down the witness.
Okay,
But if I anticipate filing a continuance within the next half hour or so.
all right, so if you'll remain and let's see if they can find this witness, okay?
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Who's here on John Casanova Paez? All right,
Document copy of Mr. Brown's office.
where is he?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Pius, thanks for dressing appropriately for court. All right, so today is your plea deadline date. Are you accepting or rejecting the state's offer?
Judge, we need some more time for the plea bargain deadline. He was involved in an accident at work and has a workers' comp claim and had to have a surgery. He has immigration issues. He's from Venezuela, so our plan was for him to hire and consult with an immigration attorney. But because he's not been making the same money, he's on light duty. He hasn't been able to do that yet. So we wanted to get the full, I guess, benefit of all of the legal advice that he could before he decides about the offer.
So when is this immigration issue going to be solved?
Well, I have documentation of the injury and his treatment's not supposed to end until August. So he might not get back to work until, like, taking his regular pay until after that, but he sees the doctor every month.
All right, we're not keeping this up until August. Do you need a immigration attorney appointed to represent you?
If you could do that, that would be helpful, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, call them back and have them bring up an immigration attorney for him. She's
I
hired.
understand.
Yeah, we can't, not gonna appoint it unless they're.
Well, I mean, if,
Not hired.
no, here's the thing about that, and I don't know if Mac understands that. If you have somebody who's retained an attorney and that person does not have money to hire whatever expert they need, you can't just say, oh, well, we're not going to do anything because they retained an attorney and they can't afford an expert. They get an expert, and an immigration attorney is an expert. Tell you what, don't call Mac then. Call one of the other attorneys and see if, yes. So your immigration attorney will be Teresa Coes Davila. So that's going to be solved. So what's the next issue?
So is that something that you want us to meet with her this morning, or do you want us to make an appointment
Miss-
with her? How does
Ms.
that work?
Ferguson is going to contact her and give you the contact information, and she'll probably be able to talk with your client today.
Okay.
And then, just so you know, Mr. Pius, when an immigration attorney is appointed for you, they are not to handle your global issues with immigration. It's only in regards to how this criminal charge will impact your immigration status. Do you understand?
You can answer out loud.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So that issue will be solved. So the other issue, he hadn't had a chance to consider the offer because of his accident.
Well, we wanted that, he hadn't been able to hire the immigration attorney because he didn't have the money because of the accident.
Okay.
But also we want to make sure that he's able to finish the treatment before any kind of.
What
sentence might
treatment?
Come down. He's had a surgery, he's going to physical therapy, he might have to have a second surgery. He sprained his shoulder and he has a disease called osteolysis. And I looked it up this morning.
OST
on,
what?
Hang on 1 second, Judge. osteolysis. And it's a progressive condition where bone tissue is destroyed. And so they're working on that for him, for his shoulder. He did have a surgery. He went to the doctor on the 22nd for a follow-up. And they've extended his treatment out until August. He's being progressively treated.
Okay, we're not gonna hold up this case because somebody needs treatment for their shoulder. If you wanna, file a motion for continuance and include whatever his doctor wants to include, you may do that, but I'm not going to hold up a trial or a case because he has a shoulder injury.
So it's our concern that he wouldn't be able to get the same kind of treatment if he were to be incarcerated, to make sure that he's made whole, that he's healed. His work is paying for all of the treatment.
Okay. I don't know what to tell you about that, but this case is not going to be held up for treatment. Yes,
Teresa says she'll zoom in. I'm gonna send her the Zoom link. She can zoom in right.
yes. All right, Ms. Davila will zoom in and Ms. Ferguson will give you you and your client the Zoom link so you can make contact with her.
Okay.
And that way you'll have her information. We're going to recall this in 3 weeks.
Okay,
And if
that's very
Ms.
good.
Davila says that she needs more time, then I will give her more time, but I have an idea of what's going to be the results based upon his charges and his immigration status. So, yes,
I didn't bring a laptop or anything with me.
you can't do it by phone?
I guess I could. Can we use the jury room? Is it open?
Sure, they'll open the jury room for you, or either you can do it back in the court's offices because no one's there.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 3-week reset for Mr. Paez. All right, April 18th is your plea deadline date. It's either going to be April 18th or April 17th. Yes.
I had changed another date for case I had for today in another county to be here to the 18th, but I can be here the 17th.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, put it on the 17th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, approach briefing.
Do you have a file?
No, ma'am. I'm breaking rules, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you need a file because otherwise I can't,
That's
I don't know what you would be talking about. I need the file so I can see. Okay, all right, I'll take it up as soon as I finish with this. Who's here on Cassandra Weiss?
I am Judge.
All right, where's Cassandra Weiss?
She's here present, but she's on her way.
You're on this side, counsel.
Thank you, Judge.
Everyone needs to whisper, and everyone, please keep the well of the court as least congested as possible. So if you're not conferring with the state, once you place the file on their desk, they will call you in the order in which the file is placed. Court is calling 2023 CR 0284, State of Texas versus Cassandra Weiss. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Mariela Encinas for the state.
Efrain Torres Jr. for Ms. Cassandra Weiss.
And are you Ms. Weiss?
Yes.
And counsel, I realize that you're a student attorney, so you need to announce for the record as well.
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
All right. Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
We have your honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Weiss, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
In just one moment while I pull the indictment. Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, your honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, who is this behind you?
Sorry, Your Honor.
All right, you're standing there. Do you need something?
I was gonna approach once they're done.
Okay. Well, who are you approaching?
I'm approaching for a motion to dismiss, just your signature.
All right, so what you'll have to do is you'd have to give it to the court coordinator or either the clerk, but not approach while we're on the record.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem. All right, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what your charge was as evading arrest, detention with a vehicle? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, off the record for a moment. Ms. Davila, I'm going to say, thank you for checking in so quickly. I'm going to send you to a breakout room
Okay.
and they will let you know what the case is and what the charges are. The defense attorney should be zooming in to join you shortly.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, we're back on the record. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, your honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, your honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Ms. Weiss, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's an $800 fine and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, your honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there being such motions? Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargaining agreement. State is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be 150 hours community service restitution in the annual management course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Your Honor. State offers State Exhibit 1 in all attachments.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Ms. Weiss, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
And states, you may be excused to continue to confer.
Thank you, Judge.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing States Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you asking to waive PSI?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, Ms. Weiss did do a lot of things beforehand in order to get to the point where she's at now. In regards to this offer, Judge. She is ready to move forward and she takes full responsibility for what she did. And she just asked the court that you could please follow the agreement.
All right, do you have any children?
Yeah.
What are their ages?
6 and 15.
Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
I'm a sales and catering manager for a hotel.
And who lives with you other than your children?
I have a sister who's currently staying with me.
When's the last time you used alcohol?
A couple of months ago.
You want to explain to me, why did this incident happen?
I had received some really bad news and I was panicking, trying to get to where I was going. I was having anxiety. And I was just trying to get to my house.
But how does that translate into you kicking an officer with steel-toed boots?
Judge, in regards to that, there was a situation where she's experienced trying to figure out how to put this. At a young age, she experienced some things done to her by males. At that point, when she was already experienced some. She was basically. She just experienced bad situations with males. The person who was handling her at that time was a male at the jail, Judge. She reacted poorly based on her past experiences with males. And so that did occur. She did write apology letters to the officers, Judge, which we provided to the state. And so that's what ended up happening there. She just had a flashback to her past experiences as a young child.
Okay, all right, off the record for a moment, Ms. Ferguson, is the attorney for that client going to be on Zoom because Ms. Davila is waiting for them in the breakout room?
Yeah, she asked me if it was gonna be private. I told her, yeah, so put you in a breakout room.
Yes. So they're waiting for her. And the last I saw, I think she went into one of the back rooms. All right, thank you. All right, we're back on the record. So is there any criminal charges as a result of the kicking of the officer?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Have you addressed those issues with anyone before? With a therapist or anything of that nature?
I've done counseling before, when I was younger, not as an adult.
All right, do you need counseling? I mean, it appears that you may do, but I mean, it's completely up to you. I'm not going to force anyone to do counseling for past trauma if they don't want it, but it would probably be to your benefit.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's an $800 fine that will be probated. 2 years deferred adjudication. 150 hours of community service restitution. Parenting classes. Once she completes parenting classes, her community service hours will be satisfied. We're going to do an anger management course. How do we address the trauma issues, Ms. Abrams?
We can refer her to Center for Healthcare Services.
All right, so we'll do a referral to Center for Healthcare Services. And I understand with counseling, sometimes people want you to open up on day one and tell everything. And sometimes you don't want to do that. You have to build up trust. So if there's an issue with the counselor, just let probation know and we'll see about getting a different counselor. Or if there are issues and you feel like they're not being addressed, just come back to court. We're here Monday through Friday, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm going to want regular reporting by Zoom or in person. And I'm sorry, just one moment. She's signed in as iPhone. All right, so we're back on the record. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Probation, I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month for 2 months. If everything is going well and you feel that there are no issues, then probation can discontinue it or do field visits as they see fit. And the field visits can go towards her regular reporting. All right, are there any marijuana or alcohol issues with you?
No, Your Honor.
All right, regular UAs or the patch. And probation, if you can see if she can perhaps be matched with a female probation officer. All right, probation, is there anything else she needs?
Proof of employment, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you. Proof of employment within 15 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or minors. Anything else, probation?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
All right, next I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement.
Learned my lesson.
Okay, thank you. That's a long stretch, right? Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. Okay.
It's free to type.
All right, and who has the dismissal?
If she's-
I don't have the file. It was never given to me. All right. Alfredo Puga, where is he?
He's outside. Do you want me to bring it?
Yes,
Judge, may I approach?
just one moment. Just one moment.
And her daughter called me, she gave me a number because her boyfriend, because her boyfriend had her old phone, she has a new phone.
All right, Mr. Pruga.
It's not, sorry.
All right, you know, you need to be inside the courtroom, okay? All right, here you are, counsel.
For them.
No, what you do is just, a copy is for your client and one copy is for the state.
You asked that.
Sure. Thank you. All right, you're welcome.
I've got it. Anyway. Okay.
I guess I'm not on the silver bottle. You do some. Never. Why am I here? I go home. Have a nice day, Judge.
All right, thank you. You too. It's always great seeing you. All right, thank you. Yes. All right, do you need to go to, you can go, yes, you can go ahead. Sure. All right, everyone, as soon as the court reporter comes back, the next case I'm going to take up is Margot Witz. So she should be back in 3 minutes. Sure. Okay, no problem. Sir, you need to have a seat. Just have a seat on the front row.
Yeah. And how long does it take? Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Whitney?
Not doing what? See, what did I tell you? Mhm. Yes.
Yeah, I was just trying to find out. Just text her. Yeah. She let me know. Right. Yeah, I can relay that to the judge.
Yes.
Yeah.
On what case? Yes,
If I could just, yeah,
sure.
we just want to let you know, we spoke with the defendant and we spoke, we're reaching out to Mr. Hilly right now. He's in another court setting right now. Our understanding is he's going to be coming by within the next few minutes to try to get over here, just trying to hunt him down, following up, but he's been in constant communication with his client. They prepped the case, so I'm really of the position that we're going to be, like to try to buy him a little bit more time and see if we can get an announcement.
Okay, and have you been able to speak with her?
Yes. It's
Okay.
Yeah. But apparently they've been in good communication, and so I know that it's frustrating for the court.
No, it's not frustrating at all, but she informed the court yesterday that she had had zero contact with him.
Okay, well, I just,
Yeah, I know.
you don't
I
have
understand.
to.
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor. We
All right.
appreciate your patience.
All right, thank you so much. And thanks for coming.
No problem. Yeah.
Well, they said they were ready for this round. After my residence.
Yes, that's it.
All right, and can I see someone from Criminal Trial Division? Hi, that's a motion filed defense. If you all don't have any objection to it, then I will sign it. Otherwise, we'll set it for hearing. So just let me know. All right, thank you. Norma?
Yes.
Here's some of these are going to need to be set. Thank you. Tucker Margowitz. Who's the attorney on Tucker Margowitz? All right, is there an application for probation?
No, Your Honor, it's
Oh, this is straight sentence.
straight sign that we had to make a correction on the paperwork. That's,
Ah.
I think that there was just a miscommunication between the defense and the state.
All right, no problem. All right, I need everyone to whisper. Court is calling 2023 CR 0651, State of Texas versus Tucker A. Margowitz. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas,
defense?
Tilden Schaefer for Tucker.
And are you Mr. Margowitz? Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I did, I haven't, I did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, the state is waiving the enhancement paragraph, but otherwise we are proceeding on the indictment as presented.
All right, any objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Margowitz, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with burglary of a vehicle with 2 or more convictions? As a state jail felony, range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea? If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea, gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Margowitz, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, punishments be assessed at 10 months in the state jail facility. There are no applications. The state will take in consideration NIMAG number 686704, grand jury number 7866968, 7935529, JN numbers 2100591, 2100592. And if you fail to appear for sentencing, you will be subjected to the full range of punishment. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
That is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty, Your Honor.
State any evidence?
State offers states exhibit 1 in all attachments. No objection, Your Honor.
All right, state, you may be excused. Mr. Morkowitz, I'm showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call them the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. So why should I accept this plea? Because he keeps breaking into people's cars, driving around with fake urine so he can pass you your analysis test. So why should I do this? He's been convicted of this twice before. How old are you?
34, Your Honor.
You're 34 years old, breaking into vehicles like some teenager, and teenagers shouldn't be doing that either. But why should I follow this agreement?
Judge, he is, has extreme addiction issues. You can see from the stipulated paperwork that there was a syringe in the car, there was a pipe probably for meth. And he was strung out and
So is he strung out all the time that he breaks into cars?
in this case, he was, Judge. And so he has been to multiple rehabs. I was actually his parole attorney. And we got him paroled out a year ago. He relapsed this fall and this is what happened. He has, for some reason, parole has allowed him to stay out without a blue warrant, which I don't understand, but he's been reporting to this officer since December. So we looked at this situation and, we understood that no matter what this court did, he was gonna have his parole revoked. But this is a pragmatic plea bargain from his standpoint, Judge. I mean, he knows what's coming, and but he's also come to, and we've talked a lot about this, Judge. We've said, look, your mother can send you to rehabs, and the court can do all sorts of things, but it's up to you. You've got a lot to do this, and so I think right now the realization is like he's got to pay the price right now.
All right, so here's your price. I'm going to give you a choice. Sometimes I can give people choices, sometimes I can't. Number one, you're not walking out of this courtroom today, because if you do, what's going to end up happening is you're probably going to use, and you may end up dying because you may end up getting bad supply, or you may use and you may end up injuring somebody else, or you may use and end up breaking into somebody's car. So here are your two choices. One, you get sentenced today and you're going into custody today. Or two, you get probation today, but you're going into custody because you're going to inpatient treatment either at safety or either he's going to felony drug court. And I know felony drug court is not going to accept him because he has the pending parole. But if you're the attorney on parole, you can let them know this is what the court wants to do with him. And who knows, maybe they will say, well, we'll continue him on parole and let the 187th handle it. So those are your two choices. So either way, you're not leaving courtroom today. So what would you prefer?
Can we talk for a minute?
Yes, you can talk to him in the box.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Teresa Kozdawa, thank you so much for coming in. You've already spoken to the attorney.
Yes, Judge.
And I'm having them come back, but of course, if you need more time to review everything, they can let me know.
Okay, Judge. Yes, they did tell me that the next court date is April 17th, but I know for sure I won't have it done by then. I'm sorry.
Okay. No problem. All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Have a good
All right.
day.
You too. Always great seeing you.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. And if I could see the case involving the interpreter, if they're ready. You're welcome. Thank you. And after I take up the matter with the interpreter, which case is that? What's the name?
That's Rolando Chavez Gutierrez. You need the case number, Judge?
Oh, no, I have it. Let me just find it on the file, and we're not going to be on the record, at least not yet. Thank you. All right, counsel, what are we here for?
Judge, I have conferred with the state. I have filed 2 motions. You should have them before you.
Yes.
I'm just asking for you to sign it. I have already conferred with them. State has no problem with it.
All right, so state, the defense is asking for a witness list. Have you reviewed that motion?
Yes, Your Honor. We
Any
have
of-
tendered counsel witness list for the trial.
Okay, so you already have the witness list?
I do, but if there's any supplementation, I would need the court order to be able to enforce that.
All right, so that would be granted. And then he wants Brady, so state, Brady information you have to turn over.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so you reviewed his request for Brady?
We did, Judge, and we have no objection.
All right, is there anything else, counsel?
No, Your Honor. I don't know if this is a trial setting. I'd like to get an announcement from the state.
Well, today is his plea deadline date. So what the court wants to know is he accepting the state's offer, or is he asking for a jury trial?
We have not been able to reach an agreement with the state at this point.
All right, so Mr. Gutierrez, do you understand that today is your plea deadline date?
Yes.
All right, so what that means is that the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after today without good cause. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, so are you accepting or rejecting the state's offer?
Rejecting.
All right, then you're going to be up for jury trial. Ms. Ferguson, who's up? How long is this case going to take?
3 days of next Judge.
Okay. All right, so we're bringing you back on April 18th for jury trial,
Okay, may we be excused?
after he signs the reset form.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, the next person up is Witten or Whiten. Probation, this is a probation case.
No, we saw it.
All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 4694, State of Texas versus Manoa Whiten. Is it Whiten or Whitten?
Whitten, yeah.
Whitten. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Debbie Cruz on behalf of the state.
Gary Chirac for the defendant.
And are you Mr. Whitten?
I am Manoa with.
All right. Counsel, have you received all the discovery and that you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
I did.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the
We
indictment?
do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
I did.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2, 1 gram to 4 grams? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
I do.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
I did.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
I did.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison?
I do.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is, Your Honor.
Mr. Whitten, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
I am.
Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I do.
According to the plea, there's a $1,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication, and there's to be restitution, if any, to the Bexar County Crime Lab for testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
I do.
Defense?
It is, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
I did.
Counsel, any such motions?
There are none, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 120 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
I do.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
At this time, the state introduced its state's exhibit number 1 and all its attachments.
No objection.
All right, state, you may continue to confer.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine any witnesses the state calling the right to remain silent?
I do.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
I do.
After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding you guilty as you have applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, the only thing we would request is on the community service hours. He is a self-employed landscaper working 7 days a week right now and probably all through the year to support his family. We'd ask that possibly he can purchase some of the hours or provide some community service work in terms of landscape work for maybe a church or some kind of nonprofit where they need trees cut or yard work done or something, that he could apply that to the community service.
All right.
Yeah, the idea was just, I've actually done some stuff for police sports before and just if I could do a landscaping job for free,
All right, well, let's start with this question. Why were you late for court?
today.
Yes.
Judge, we walked in at like 9:03.
All right, Mr. Church, I appreciate you answering questions for him. One at a time.
I should have taken the stairs. The elevator kind of held us up. I got in here at 5 minutes before and normally I take the stairs, but I saw him, so I took the elevator and it took longer. So no excuse really, actually.
All right, so there's no excuse.
Yeah.
When you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
They should be a low toxicity level.
What are you going to be positive for?
I would think nothing.
Well, no, I mean, you're saying there's a low level, so what will it be a low level for?
Well, before all this, I mean, I smoked a little bit of marijuana, so there could be a chance of that, but I've stopped that a while back.
All right,
So,
you're giving me a UA today. How many children do you have?
3,
What are their ages?
5, 3, and 8 months.
Do they live with you?
Yes.
Who else lives with you?
My wife,
Does she smoke or do drugs at all?
not at all. She's a nurse practitioner, actually.
Is she aware of what you do?
Yes.
I mean, your drug use.
Yeah, she is, which I don't do it anymore, but yes, she was aware of that.
So you have a 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and 8-month-old, and you're just deciding that you're not going to do that anymore?
Yeah, it's not important to me. Those things are way more important to me than doing anything like that. And like you said, I own a business and, taking care of my family is my number 1 priority. So whatever it takes to do that correctly is what I'll do.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 4 years deferred adjudication. There's $1,000 fine that will be probated. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I'm going to want random UAs. I'm going to want a UA today. And probation, if that UA today is positive for anything, then I'm going to change random UAs to the UA hotline until further notice. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. No unsupervised contact with minors. 200 hours community service restitution. Court is going to require parenting classes with Triple P. Once parenting classes are complete, your community service hours will be satisfied. Restitution, if any, to the Bexar County Crime Lab for testing. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Yes. Anything else you need from the court to be successful?
I don't think so.
All right. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Don't go through. Why, are you, is your arm that long? Yes. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, it's obviously changed. I think so. I'll talk to you again about that, but.
Well, no, I'm talking about the Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who is here on Allison Dawn Elliott? Court is calling 2021 CR 5900, State of Texas versus Allison Dawn Elliott. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Debbie Cruz on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Matthew Brown for the defense.
All right, and are you Allison Dawn Elliott, AKA Leticia Dawn Vasquez? Showing you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes.
Are you the same Allison Dawn Elliott, AKA Leticia Dawn Vasquez, who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 5900 for the offense of theft, 2,500 to 30,000 vehicle on September 2nd, 2021 for a term of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Your Honor, the defendant violated condition number 5 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant, Allison Dawn Elliott, AKA Leticia Dawn Vasquez, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of September, October, November, December 2022, and January 2023 in violation of condition number 5. The state waives the remainder of the allegation.
All right, and that's violation of condition number 1. I'm sorry, which number?
Number 5,
Number 5?
that's correct, Your Honor.
And you said September, October, November, December, and January?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, how do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
I'm sorry?
True.
All right. Defense, any objection to the state's waiver of the remaining violations?
No.
All right, Ms. Elliott, AKA Vasquez, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, court could find it true, grant the motion and sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The defendant served 9 months in the state jail facility.
Is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, has she done anything while she's been on probation?
No.
Your Honor, she has not completed the parenting class, the deaf class. UA hotline. Nor, she absconded, so we could not give her the referral for the outpatient treatment.
All right, and did she pay restitution?
No, Your Honor, there has been no payments made on the account.
All right, the court is going to revoke. There's to be $500 restitution to Elizabeth Moran, Morin. No contact with Elizabeth Moran or 130 Waugh Street in San Antonio, Texas. There's $1,000 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. Court's going to sentence you to 18 months in a state jail facility, and the court will give you credit for any time served. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? All right. You have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you are on probation. Do you understand? Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. You're going to have to start doing better. If you have a drug or alcohol problem, there are places at the prison system that can help you. But you cannot come to court and have done nothing and then ask for what you were asking for. No, what you should have done is said something. We're off the record. What you should have done is said something to your probation by picking up the phone and calling them and reporting. You did absolutely nothing on probation. Good luck to you.
Your Honor, may I approach? Elliot?
Yes. Okay. There you go.
Want to pick it?
Who's here on? Timothy Barker? Yes. What's happening with this case?
Today I got a plea offer, I got a plea offer today, so I'm asking for a reset so I can go over this with my client.
All right, so was the plea done in labor? Because I have from February 16th that today was your plea deadline date.
No, let's reset because they wanted to get in contact with the victim. Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you recall this in 3 weeks for a plea deadline?
And I guess if my client accepts it, you should be here in person.
We can do it by Zoom, depending on what it is. Of course, if it's time, he needs to be in court.
The offer's not time, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you, Judge.
No, we're gonna have to do it sooner than that. Put it, put it the second weekend in April. All right, so we'll be back on April 10th.
And if he accepts it, Your Honor, we do the plea that day or can we get it reset?
No, we will do the plea that day.
Okay,
And if he needs it done by Zoom, then we can do it by Zoom.
I'll reach out to the state and get the paperwork and we accept it, Your Honor. Thank
All
you.
right, are you all accepting the plea today? Why can't you all do it today?
I need to talk to him about the case.
Okay, all right, we'll see you on April 10th.
May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Barker, your attorney will speak with you.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
It's like you're on Zoom.
And Norman, could you put on there that he can appear by Zoom if they're accepting a plea? Mark Pena. Hey, I'm going in order that they're handed to me.
Judge, I don't know if it makes a difference. I just need time to get a mental health evaluation.
Okay, listen, sir. All right, who's here on Mark Pena and Mr. All right, so what is happening with this case?
The state's made an offer. We're considering it. We would like a little time.
Okay,
Discovery has been completed.
all right, so I need a discovery acknowledgement. All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a plea deadline date on Mr. Pena. Mr. Pena, how much time are you asking to consider this?
A month, sir. I mean, Your Honor. A month, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a plea deadline date?
It will be April 24th.
All right, April 24th is your plea deadline date. After that, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. Susan Robledo. Oh, that's you.
I feel like a winner.
Yay. And when the parties are ready on Markowitz, just let me know. All right, where is Susan Robledo? What is happening with this case?
So
Good
Judge,
morning.
we're set for an MTR and talking with my client this morning and going over the reports, I've got some serious reservations about her mental capacity. I'd like to have some time to file a mental health evaluation after it's evaluated.
All right, that mental health evaluation need to be filed by tomorrow. Ms. Ferguson, can you refer this for competency evaluation?
Yes, ma'am.
What date?
You can bring back on May 8th.
All right, we'll be back here on May 8th, but your competency should be done by then.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Maybe be excused.
Yes, well, your client has to stay here.
Certainly. It was worth a shot.
Okay.
Your clients.
Who is here? Oh, that's been done. Santos Rodriguez. Is this a plea?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, could I have a file stamp, please? For a plea? Thank you. Court is calling 2022 CR 10959, State of Texas versus Santos Enoch Rodriguez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense,
Chris Griffith for Mr. Rodriguez, Your Honor.
are you Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you pronounce your middle name?
Enoch.
All right, well, I'm gonna have problems with that because I'm not doing the accent. Sorry.
No problem.
All right, counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Rodriguez, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision or Deferred Adjudication. Did you review that with your attorney? Did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
understand it? And did you sign it? Showing you the true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rodriguez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, off the record for a moment. Ms. Abrams? This is going to be an application for deferred.
Yes.
All right, we're back on the record. Did you understand what you're charged with is fraudulent use or possession of identifying information, 5 items or less? That's
Yes,
a
Your
state
Honor.
jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court doesn't have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility.
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Rodriguez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 1 year in the state jail facility, and the state is opposing your application. Did you understand that to be the plea?
No, Your Honor. Oh, yes, Your Honor.
All right. Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, ma'am.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence to support the plea?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 in all attachments.
Mr. Rodriguez and I reviewed those. No objections, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony. You may be excused. Waiver of consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did
Yes,
you
Your
sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Ms. Ferguson, I need a sentencing date. And all right, we're going to come back on May 11th. Probation, I'll need a PSI plus a TAP evaluation. All right, we'll come back on May 11th. At that time, I'll make a decision on your application. My decision will be based upon the PSI report I receive and any other evidence that's presented to me. You have any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Your Honor, he's requesting that a bond be set until sentencing.
You need to file a motion.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are the parties ready on Markowitz? Okay, sure. Who's here on Daniel Van Duzer?
That would be me.
Good morning. Good morning. So, Mr. Van Duzer, why were you late?
Sorry,
Okay, you're speaking to me, but not in complete sentences.
that's all right.
Okay. All right, you're scheduled for jury trial today.
We are scheduled for jury trial today. I thought today was our plea deadline day.
No, today is jury trial date and plea deadline date.
Okay, then he would like a jury trial.
All right, we'll see you back at 1:30.
Okay.
And we'll see which case goes first.
Sure.
All right, thanks. Hey, I like your pen.
It's spring, right?
It is.
I think I have a whole stack of those files that was like they're mine.
Okay, we're gonna take those up. I just need to mark off who's coming back at 1:30. Does anybody have a Post-it note, please? Oh, you know what? Just 1 second. There's one hidden here. In my favorite color. All right, this is coming back at 1:30. That's 1:30. Okay, thank you. All right, who's here on 1 Carranza?
That would be. Do you want Mr. Kranz in from? the
Yes,
I believe this is a discovery.
it is.
Compliance and Michael, do you know anything about this?
I did at some point.
Can
So this
you-
has to do with DNA discovery.
Don't think they have DNA results yet that I have been able to find.
All right, if someone could check to see if there is the DNA.
I know they took the Google swabs. I know they submitted them, but I don't believe we have results.
Okay.
Judge, I could just tell based on
The date.
when it was actually, the buckle was actually completed on October 19th of 2022. So it's only been a couple months. I have cases from, unfortunately, July of last year. So
All right, could everyone please whisper? I'm sorry.
I called the lab actually last week on a different case, but it had a DNA from July of last year that still hasn't been completed. So without, it would take some time to call the lab, but without doing that, I can fairly certainly say it's not completed yet. But I can mark here to make sure that we.
So how long does it usually take for it to be completed?
It's- My understanding is like 6 to 8 months on the.
Okay, because
low
this,
end of it.
because this DNA has been going on since October of 2022.
So like 5. So I think. I can call over to the lab. Unfortunately, the person who used to deal with the lab retired. So I can be here, but I can call over to the lab and see.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Carranza, I'm gonna give you all a May 1st date.
May 1st.
And if there's, the DNA is not back, and if there's an issue, then people need to be subpoenaed. And I need to know the exact date that they will have DNA. So Ms. Ferguson, if you'll put Juan Carranza on May 1st for DNA discovery. All right. Thank you. Do you have anyone else with us?
I have a Christian Segovia, that is gonna be a plea, I'm not sure if that's filed up here, but that's gonna complete.
Okay, it's not a pair, I think, because it's gonna please be a plea, but they'll get it to you.
And then I have Mr. Guerra, which is a plea, and I don't know if the court has the paperwork yet.
No, I don't have the paperwork yet. As soon as they put it up here, I will.
Okay.
Wardell Lemon. I got the sticky note. If you can come forward. All right, Mr. Lemon, I've been informed that your attorneys and jury trial in another court.
Yeah.
So he can't be in two places at the same time, as the song goes. All right, I'm glad you got my reference. Other people wouldn't get that reference. All right, Ms. Ferguson. What is he trying? Do we know? Do you know how long his trial is supposed to take? All right, so when can we set this? All right, so we're going to give you a setting of April 18th for your jury trial, and Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form, then you're excused. And thanks for being on time and dressing, as always, appropriately for court. Mario Miranda. Mario Miranda.
Present, Your Honor.
Hi, it's always great seeing you. Where's Mr. Miranda?
He was right here in courtroom. Just a little slow there.
That's okay. Are you all on this case together?
Well, Judge, I was appointed and he retained Mr. Sullivan. We just got retained over the weekend, Your Honor.
Okay, all
He
right.
knows retained this morning.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make sure that an notice was filed.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, state on Mario Miranda. The discovery issue was that the state had letters from the complainant. So have those been turned over? Do you have those? Okay. So the last time we were here, Mr. Sawyer, the outstanding discovery was letters given to the state by the complainant. I don't know what the letters are, but
Neither do I. Just got involved in the case, Judge. I confirmed the state today to start out discovery.
okay,
Mr. Real has a, I'm sure that's turn him over to me.
yes.
I'm just checking to see if they've been uploaded to Discovery, Judge.
And Ms. Ferguson, also I'm gonna need a 30-day reset on Mr. Miranda.
What is that?
April 24th.
Thank you, Ron.
All right, so on April 24th, that will be the last time for discovery in state. On April 24th, you need to be prepared to make an offer.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else?
Nothing for you.
Always great seeing you. Where's your brother, though? My mom has never seen him.
We'll try to get here Friday.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, have a good
Thank you.
one. You're welcome.
Thanks, Aaron.
Are we ready on Tucker? Is he still outside with your parents? All right, Carlos Madrigal. Good morning. So what's happening with this case?
Judge, we have a plea offer. If the court would resolve previously, we had filed a motion to set a bond. We conferred with the prosecutor judge, and the prosecutor bond is saying has contacted the complaining witness. The bond hearing that we actually had scheduled was reset because the court was in trial and hasn't been scheduled again yet, but I think we have an agreement. Just partially, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. Previously it was reset to have the complaining witness appear in court. The problem with her schedule, she works 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day except Friday. We had reset it to a Friday, we were in trial that day. So it was again reset.
All right, well, let's put it on Friday and we do it Friday at 9 a.m. because I need to hear from the complainant.
Okay, the state has talked to her.
We can speak with the complainant on the day that it was set for. And we do have her position on it if the court would like to hear it. Otherwise, if we'll defer to the court whether or not you want her personally present.
All right, we can have her on Friday, and if I can't do it, then the person who will be doing it is, you know what, Norma? Let's set this for Friday and send it to Judge Nahara. All right, so we'll hear the bond on Friday.
Thank you, Judge. And maybe be excused today.
Well, just 1 second. So an offer has been tendered.
Yes,
All right, Ms. Fergus, have you received all the discovery?
I believe we have, Judge. I haven't completely reviewed it though.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, on this case, can I have it set for 2 weeks for a plea deadline date? And that's, you're gonna have to have your discovery acknowledgement prepared at that time too.
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, could we have a little bit longer than that? He was just indicted
Okay.
in February, I believe.
All right, can you make that 3 weeks, Ms. Ferguson?
I can do the 17th.
All right, April 17th.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. And counsel, Ms. Ferguson will make sure that that's set with Nahara on Friday.
Okay, thank you.
So there's not a log in every year.
Mary Diaz.
Present. Tochi and I are present on behalf of Ms. Diaz.
All right. And where's Ms. Diaz?
She's here.
All right, so my understanding, the last time we were here, is Charles Bach was appointed. And that was in December, and I gave you all this large gap from
Right.
December to March so that everybody could make sure that they had everything and everybody had a chance to review everything. So my assumption is there's no outstanding discovery. Is that correct?
Well,
We were here, I think, 2 weeks ago with the court. And we discussed with the court that there were some discovery issues. I gave the state an external hard drive. Today, they've given me the hard drive with what I believe to be everything on it now, because as recently as this week, some of the stuff that they've e-filed still, I mean, e-discovery still is blank, so I'm hoping this red disk that I gave them will have everything. But I don't want to tell you under oath before the court that I have everything. I think I do, but I haven't had a chance to look at my drive. I just got it today. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And Your Honor, we had, in good faith, given everything, but the discs that we had given apparently had errors on them. That was the issue.
All right, we're coming back on March 10th.
March 10th.
April?
I'm sorry, April 10th.
Judge, my wife has a medical procedure on that day.
Okay.
Can I not do April 10th?
Are you going to be helpful?
To her? Yeah. I'm
Yes,
gonna drive
okay,
her
you're not-
to her and bring her home.
You're not going to be passing out or anything like that? Okay, you're
I'm
strong.
gonna sew her up when she's finished.
Okay. All right, so are you able to do April 13th? Because if not, I'll bring you back on the 17th.
I'd rather do the 17th if we can.
All right, Norma, we're going to come back on April 17th.
Judge, the 13th is my wedding anniversary.
Does she want you there?
We're gonna do something nice. I'm taking her to Olive Garden.
Well, that's great. It's all the breadsticks.
The funny thing is, she would consider that.
Hey, you know what?
Yes.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with Olive Garden. You know, I think Olive Garden has great dressing.
They do.
And you know, Olive Garden and Red Lobster are tied together. So Red Lobster actually has the best stuffed mushrooms because they put shrimp in them.
Oh,
Yes. And they're under the same umbrella.
I actually ate a Red Lobster. That's good.
Red Lobster getting a little out of hand. Let's just keep it where we're at.
But I mean, they have the best biscuit. Those cheese biscuits.
Better Bay.
Yeah. Don't even go there if you're trying to follow through your diet because. All right, so we're gonna come back on April 17th. At that time, I'm gonna expect the acknowledgement of discovery to have been signed. Has an offer already been tendered?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll be ready to sign the discovery agreement on that day.
All right. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
Thank you. May we be excused?
Yes, after you sign the reset.
Yeah.
We would ever honor it.
On who? We've already done Barker.
I'll go. Our president.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, that's okay. We're back on the record in 2023 CR 0651, State of Texas versus Tucker Markowitz. Mr. Markowitz, have you had a chance to speak with your attorney?
Have the honor.
All right, so what do you wish to do?
The state jail sentence.
Okay. All right. The court will follow your agreement. Court is finding you guilty, sentence you to 10 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Just taking the cases into consideration, Judge.
Thank you.
They're all out of the sentencing. It's
Okay.
all kind of bridged together.
Court will take in consideration the following cause numbers: NIMAG number 686704. Grand jury numbers 7866968. 793529. JN numbers 2100591. 2100592. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney?
I did, yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Margowitz, you are going to have to find a way to maintain your sobriety. Because there are so many things that can go wrong when you break it into somebody's car. Somebody could be very upset. Somebody could defend their property. This is Texas. Also, anytime that you use could be the last time. You never know if it's a good product. People who sell product do not care. They're just see you as a dollar sign. How old are your parents?
67 and 64.
All right. And also it's heartbreaking for your parents because parents want their children to succeed. They want them to be happy. Believe me, when you're struggling and using, it's just like your parents are using it with you because they're devastated by it. So you're going to have to find out what you need to do to maintain your sobriety, and you're going to have to do it. Otherwise, you may spend the rest of your life in prison, or it may be the last time that you use. All right. Good luck to you. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you,
Thank you.
counsel. All right, who's here on Gara? All right, Jess, let me find you on the docket. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 1198, State of Texas versus Mario Guerra. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michael Villarreal for the state.
Defense?
Melissa Christian.
And are you Mr. Guerra?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Michael. You need to sign.
Oh, that might help.
Thank you. All right, counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and that you review it with your client?
I have.
Mr. Guerra, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication. Did you review that with your attorney? Did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes,
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We did.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, state proceeding on count one only and waiving and abandoning the remaining counts.
No objections.
Mr. Guerra, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged in count one with the offense of aggravated sexual assault of a child? That's a first degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Guerra, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Very much so.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on count one. Punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 16 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. State is opposing your application, and there's to be no contact with the complainants, and there's to be Chapter 62 compliance. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Judge.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
Motions have been filed but not ruled upon in any negative manner.
Then to count one in indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, state offer states exhibit number 1 and its attachments.
We have no objections.
All right, state, you may continue to confer.
I'm just here for this, Judge.
Oh,
I'm your captive audience.
oh, well, thank you very much. It's always great to have you back. All right, Mr. Guerra, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding the guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Is there a need for a TAP evaluation or no?
No, not at all.
All right, Ms. Ferguson.
I say that just out of
A bun-
candor with the court. He is on DWI probation, so if you want a TAP evaluation, that's all it will show.
Okay, all right, then we won't need a TAP.
Okay.
Ms. Ferguson, I need a sentencing date for PSI.
May 25th.
All right, that's the soonest we can do.
Yes, ma'am. Then 6 to 8 weeks, 6 on jail and 8 on bond.
Judge, if it's possible, that week I'm out of town on a CLE.
Just 1 second. Does anyone have any objection to me calling someone and see if this can be done sooner?
No. But that's what we're hearing in all the courts is about our dates.
All right, I'm being told just to give them 2 minutes and they're gonna give us a date, but it should be a fairly quick turnaround. So if you all will be seated, and what I'll do is I'll call you up as soon as they're gonna call me back in a few minutes. And I can give you the new date.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Michael Duran. All right, so where are we on Michael Duran?
Judge, at this time, we're approaching regarding a condition of bond. Right now, there's a no contact regarding the child. We're requesting that change to a no harmful or injurious.
All right, has a motion been filed?
No, Your Honor. I've just informed her that this morning. I've just was appointed. Child's been in there with the father. This case was from June last year. Child has been in this home until just 2 weeks ago. Because of the bond, that's when they took the child. CPS is already out of the case. They closed their case. We're just asking that the child be come back to the home.
All right, so I'll need a motion file. If you all get the motion file, I can hear it on Thursday.
Okay, and at this time, Your Honor, I guess we need a reset regarding the case. It's
Okay, and so with that motion, counsel, if you have it, I don't know, you may not have it. If you have the results from the CPS.
we have a copy of the.
All right, if you will make sure that you bring that with you on
Sure.
Thursday. All right, and then Ms. Ferguson, do you have all the discovery?
I do not know Judge, at this time.
I believe all the discovery has been uploaded to Discovery.
All right, and is there a child protective service case was involved in this or no?
They did not file an actual case. It was family based, I believe, just an investigation, but that has been closed out after 2 months ago.
All right, and counsel, do you need a copy of the family base?
If they haven't.
We'll reach out to CPS.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Jerome? All right, we'll be back on April 17th for discovery. And Ms. Ferguson, they're going to come back on Thursday for me to look at the condition of bond issue. All right, Ms. Ferguson, we'll give you a reset form. You're welcome.
Great.
Always good seeing you.
Good to see you, Jeff.
Thank you. All right, just one moment. Hello, do you have a date for me? No, it is too far because I won't. Just 1 second. Are you going to have any objection to another judge hearing this? We put it on April 17th?
Who's the judge? Yes.
All
I
right.
object.
Yes, we can do it the week before. Oh, no, just, 10th, 11th, 13th, April. All right, we can, what is easiest for you? Because they're okay with the 10th, 11th, or 13th.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll put it on the 11th.
No, I'll do it today.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.
I apologize, Judge. I was given April the 17th, but I'm not available on that date. Your Honor.
Okay. What's your, just 1 second before I take that up. Could I see Gara back, please?
The following week would be okay, Judge.
All right, just 1 second. Could I see Mario Gara? Could you come forward? We're back on the record in 2021 CR 1198. So the court was informed that the actual report will be done on the 10th. So to make sure that everybody has it and has a chance to review it, I'm recalling this back on the 11th for sentencing.
Okay.
All right.
April 11th, correct?
Yes. So Ms. Ferguson, if you can give them an April 11th reset date on Mr. Gara, please. All right. Thank you. Sure, no problem. Have you already done your paperwork? Okay. All right, and then on your case,
Yeah, Your
Jerome?
Honor, except for the 17th, well, except for the 17th, I was just hoping to move for the, for the 24th.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, are we able to do Duran for the 24th?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson will change it and we'll see you on the 24th.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Oh, just one second. Just one second, sorry. Hello? Wait and tell her, oh. Hi. Oh, put my
I
glasses.
went to one side and then went to the other.
All right, they want him to come over to probation today.
Okay.
And can you contact them and see which officer they want him to go to? Yes, yeah. There you go. Christopher Davis. All right, what is happening with Mr. Davis? So the last time we were here, there were some federal issues.
Yes, and Your Honor, I've made some traction with that. I have spoken to the FBI agent who is handling the investigation with the feds. What I need to do, I think that we're in a position where we can probably make a package offer.
Okay.
I just need a little bit more time to confirm that with the assistant U.S. attorney and to speak to my others about it.
All right, how much time are you requesting?
I would say 2 to 3 weeks.
All right. All right, Ms. Ferguson. This is Mr. Christopher Davis. The state is saying they need 2 to 3 weeks. And that's for, they should have an offer by then, correct?
Yes.
All right, April 17th. All right, thank you. Who's here on Youngblood? Everyone needs to whisper. Court is calling 2023 CR 1349, State of Texas versus Jackson Youngblood. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Debbie Cruz on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
Defense,
We've got set for Mr. Youngblood.
are you Jackson Youngblood?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery?
We have, Your Honor.
Did you review that discovery with your client?
I did, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Youngblood, showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor. We will be seeking misdemeanor punishment though.
Okay. Mr. Youngblood, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him? Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Youngblood, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor, no one has not.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, you're to be sentenced to 90 days under 1244 of the penal code, and there's no fine. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial to the offenses charged. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
At this time, stated to receive exhibit number 1 and all of its attachments.
Any objection? All right, state you may be excused. Showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor. Please, the court.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 90 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244 of the Penal Code, give you credit for any time served. Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor, we did.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. How old are you?
I'm 22.
So you need to make a decision on what you want to do with the rest of your life. If you want to continue to use meth, you may get a bad batch, may end up dying, or you may be in and out of prison, and you're going to wake up and you're going to find that a majority of your life has been wasted in and out of prison. And what I can tell you from experience, that once you become 21, the years go by very quickly, because we're almost at Christmas. And I could have sworn to you, didn't we just have Christmas? And now we're back to doing another Christmas almost. So don't let life sneak up on you. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good luck to you. Who's here on John Dever? John Wesley Dever. All righty. And Norma, one of these says Spanish speaker needed.
Yeah.
All right. Who's here on Rachel Garcia? Rachel Garcia.
Mr. Dever, I just gave plea paperwork to defense.
Okay, plea. All right, Norma, in this case, this is going to be a plea. All right, so what is happening with this case?
Judge, we conferred. I anticipate if the court gives us one reset, we should have a resolution.
All right, so what happened to her not appearing?
She tells me that she was unaware of the court setting.
No, but I mean, wasn't a bond forfeiture issued for her?
Yes.
So they're going to take her into custody.
Bond, I believe a bond was set and she posted bond
Oh.
and was ordered to appear today.
Mhm.
We've conferred. I anticipate within 30 days, we would have a resolution, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, does she have any outstanding warrants or no?
It was released on bond, Judge, on the 14th of this month.
Okay. All right, so Ms. Ferguson, I need a 3-week reset on Ms. Garcia. All right, we'll be back on April 17th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Ms. You're welcome, Ms. Ferguson. We'll give you a reset form. Juan Garza. State is calling 2023 CR 1867, State of Texas versus Juan Garza. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
Defense?
Adrian Bettis.
Are you Juan Garza? Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will.
There's a
There's a
motion to
motion.
amend.
Okay. All right. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we did file a motion to amend the indictment. It substantially changes it to an attempted indecency contact.
No objections.
All right. Do you understand that's a substantive change to the indictment? Knowing that, do you have any objections?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand? Yes. Do you understand that your attorney has 10 days to prepare for trial with the substantive change? All right, knowing that, do you still wish to go forward with this plea?
Yes.
All right, without objection, then the court will sign the state's motion to amend the indictment. Showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places? All right, just one moment. All right. I'm sorry. If y'all, let me take this with the interpreter very quickly because they have to be in another court and then we will continue with this.
Okay.
All right. Juan Antonio Garcia Sanchez. And counsel, you're on this side. All right, and we're not on the record. All right, so we're scheduled today for jury trial. Okay, all right, everybody's staring at me. I've made the announcement, so he's requesting jury trial, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, we'll see you all back here at 1:30 and we'll see what happens.
With one caveat,
Mhm.
I'm also have a jury setting in Comal County on someone who has been in jail pending jury trial, and they're calling me from Comal.
Oh, we'll call Camel. Norman, call Camel County and let them know he's here.
May I finish on.
Sure.
I'm also not ready because I've been sick. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've been with a coughing most of the week, certainly this weekend. And I haven't had time to prepare for this case. And therefore, I'm announcing already.
All right, you'll need to file a motion for continuance, but I'll see you all back at 1:30. Thank you.
Now, do I have to show up in Pomalo or?
No, you're gonna be here at 1:30.
Well, I mean, was the clerk gonna call?
Oh, just tell Ms. Ferguson who it is and we'll let them know you're here. And that you're following the motion for continuance here. So she'll let them know.
All right,
All right, thank you, Mr. Leal.
thank you.
All right, thank you.
My pleasure. May I be
Always,
excused?
yes, always great seeing you.
It's my pleasure.
All right, we're gonna go back on the record in 2023 CR 1. Yes,
I have a question for you.
yes. Mr. Leal, your client has a question.
It's personal because my grandmother is sick.
No.
She has diabetes and she is old, so I wanted to ask you. I know I can't go out, but in case she passed away, could I go if I notify you?
Just have your attorney let the court know.
So I'm doing everything right. I've been here. I want to do everything right.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right, could I have the parties approach on Garza? We're back on the record in 2023 CR 1867. All right, Mr. Garza, the state is proceeding on an attempted indecency with child by contact as a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just 1 second. Okay. Mr. Garza, has anyone threatened to force you or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, state is recommending deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution to the complainant for any medical and mental health treatment. There is to be compliance with Chapter 62 registration. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There be no contact with the complainant, no alcohol, TAP evaluation and follow recommendations, sex offender supervision and compliance with child protective services requirements. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence
And we have to state exhibit number 1 in all attachments.
No objections.
showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand? All right, state defense, the only thing with regards to the stipulations. Since you changed the indictment, the stipulations don't reflect.
Oh, I didn't change that one. I'm sorry there.
No problem. Oh, you went through the wrong way. See, you're being a bad example to
I'm
others.
sorry, Judge.
Do you want to see what you put in the?
I believe
It looks correct to me, Your Honor.
I went back and corrected it. I did.
It's,
You're right. Thank you.
Something I easily
No problem.
neglected to do though.
All right, if I didn't say it before, the court is finding that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept as evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty of attempted indecency contact with a child. Court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. I need a PSI date and TAP evaluation, please. Put it on a date less than 8 weeks. I think if we give them a date less than eight weeks, they can make it happen. I have faith. All right, because I was like, no.
That's next week.
Yeah. So we're gonna come back on May 4th. At that time, the court will make a decision on your application. Probation will need a PSI and TAP. All right, thank you.
thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Who's here on Tony Banks? We're here for discovery. What's going on?
This Judge, the state and I need to look at some of the camera to see if there's remarks by the defendant that might tell us which way to go with the case.
All right, why were you late today?
I had to catch an Uber and it was really trafficy.
All right, you need to make plans for that, and you've been late before, so we're not gonna have that again, because the bond forfeiture was actually issued for you on November 28th. All right, so I'm going to give you all a 3-week reset. You need to let the court know what's going on. By that date, there'll be no further resets for this issue. Ms. Fergus, can I have a 3-week reset on Tony Banks? All right, we're gonna come back on April 17th.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Yes, after he does the reset form, you're excused. Jose Corona. All right, what is happening with Mr. Corona?
Judge, state entered an offer to us today, so we would like to take some time to consider that.
All right, why were you late for court?
I had trouble with my truck to go down on the freeway.
I'm sorry, what?
Had to go and pick me up because my truck went down the freeway.
All right, can't be late again, you understand?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Corona, if I can have a 2-week or a 3-week reset for for a plea deadline date, please. All right, you're coming back on April 17th. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. You're welcome. Yes. You're the only person who was able to reach over and make it happen. Can I see the file on Renee Espinoza? Okay. Thank you. And this one's done. All right, this is going to be the last one, and then the court is breaking for noon. Court is calling 2022 CR 2866, State of Texas versus Graciano Villanueva. Ms. Christian, do you already have your plea paperwork done?
Yes.
All right. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Donald Wilson for the defense.
Are you Mr. Graciano Villanueva Jr.?
It's Graciano. Yes, ma'am.
Graciano,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you. I didn't know if it was a hard C or not.
No.
Showing you what's entitled motion to revoke, I'm sorry, to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Graciano Villanueva Jr. who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 2866 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams on April 18th, 2022 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Violated condition number 4 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Graciano Villanueva Jr., did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the month of July 2022 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Your Honor, the state would waive all other violations.
Any objections?
No objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation condition number 4?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court would find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, there is. It's to alter and amend for the defendant to attend SATIV with weekly reporting for 60 days upon release.
Is that the agreement?
Yes, it is.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court will deny the motion to alter and amend conditions to include SATA. I'm going to want the UA hotline upon release until further notice. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. And weekly reporting for 60 days. And probation, if you want to count one of those field visits as his reporting, you can. And the defendant is to remain in custody for SATA. Probation, does he need another TAP evaluation or no?
No, Your Honor, his tap is good.
All right. Good luck to you. You're gonna have to do better. You need to report, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, I know you just said to come back, but I just had a motion set on the MGL. I already conferred and turned that paperwork in. I was hoping we could do that.
All right, is it off docket?
Yes, ma'am, it is. He's in jail right now.
All right, give me a moment, because I have to take up things that are on docket.
Hey, daughter, I'm ready, but I'm wondering, can we call for tomorrow? I have an appointment this afternoon that I reset like from this morning.
What are you ready on?
Please, it's easy.
Do I have the paperwork?
I've turned it in. I don't know if they sworn in the defendant.
No.
And I'm not trying to rush you, Judge. either. We can just bring it back in the morning. but-
All right, she's gonna swear him in.
Okay, that works too. Thank you.
right now?
Yes.
Approach.
Yes. And this should be in the file. And where's the plea on Ms. Christian's client?
Judge, I had to come back over on another case.
Okay.
So.
I'll see you then. All right.
Waiting for the judge reset. She'll call.
Judge, is it okay if I leave my case in here?
I'm sorry?
My rolling case, can I just leave it here? So she'll
Sure,
be back?
just,
Oh,
yes, well, one, for trial, 1:30.
Is that for all the cases, Your Honor?
Hmm?
Is that for all the cases?
No, that's for trial cases. Are you,
Right.
who's your trial case?
Richard Thomas.
Richard who?
Thomas.
Yes, you need to be back at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor. And if you excuse me.
Yes, and come back at 1:30.
That's what I'm here.
Yes, yeah,
So it's not no confusion.
there's no confusion. Hi.
Judge, the state made me an offer and I'd like to have time to consider it.
Where's your,
It's Judah Costilla.
if you ask them?
Oh, finish that paperwork. Yes.
That's a problem. They can have a agreement, and then you have to go.
No, this is what's gonna end up happening. So I'm gonna do this last plea and everybody else, y'all need to come back at 1:15. And while I'm gone, if you guys have pleas and y'all are working them out, I will take them up at 1:15. Thanks. All right, Christian Segovia, who is that on that?
That is the list.
All right, she's coming back at 1:30. All right, John Dever.
We're ready.
Court is calling 2023 CR 0222, State of Texas versus John Dever. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Good morning, Your Honor. Daniel De La Garza for the defendant.
Are you Mr. Dever?
Deaver, ma'am.
Dever? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me know how to pronounce your name.
That's quite right.
All
Say
right.
tomato, tomato.
Yeah, I get like Denver, John Denver, you know.
Oh, yeah, okay. Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with the discovery, showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor. Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, we're waiving the enhancement paragraph, but otherwise we're proceeding on the indictment as presented.
All right, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled court's admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with driving while intoxicated third or more? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargaining agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Not any viable ones, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe it was.
Has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 10 years in the prison. There's no application for deferred adjudication, and the state is opposed to your application for community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 in all attachments.
Any
No
objection?
objection.
All right, state, you may continue. Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. This court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits one and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. I'm going to ask for a PSI and TAP evaluation. Ms. Ferguson, I need a reset date on Mr. Dever. All right, we'll be back on May 4th. At that time, I'll make a decision on your application based upon the PSI report and any other evidence that's presented to me.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
May the fourth be with you, Your Honor, and thank you very, very much for accommodating.
Sure, you're welcome.